Hi there friends, welcome back to another episode of Generation Tech. My name is Alan. If you're watching the new season of the Clone Wars, one clone you've probably heard mentioned a few times is CT-1409, otherwise known as Echo. Now, some of you might have forgotten who Echo is, so today we're going to do a refresher course and talk about Echo's entire story up until Season 7. If he reappears, that is. We're not really sure if he will. No spoilers. CT-109 was born on the planet of Kamino, like all of his other clone brothers. He wasn't a part of the first generation of clones because by the time the Battle of Geonosis starts, he's still training to be deployed. While in Tipica City, he was assigned to the training unit known as Domino Squad. This was made up of clone troopers CT-4040 Cutup, CT-002010 Droid Bait, CT-5555s, and CT-782 Heavy. They were actually a pretty unique unit because unlike most of the other clone squads, they had problems working together and always ended up fighting each other and kept failing training tests. The troopers' instructors definitely were disappointed by this, but there was a silver lining to their dysfunction. Clones were conditioned and some might say genetically modified to obey orders and work together well. But in the long run, clones who showed more defiance and independence typically made better soldiers, and many of those individuals ended up getting promoted to ARC Trooper or other higher ranks. You can teach teamwork and how to follow orders, but creativity and individual drive is something people are born with. And even amongst the clones, there were some variations. CT-109, at least early on, was definitely a follower, and he was given the name Echo because he had the tendency to repeat every order that was given to them. This could have been a nervous tic, or perhaps Echo saw just how unorganized and undisciplined his unit was, and he wanted everyone to work together towards victory. CT-872 Heavy, for instance, kept on going out on his own with his Gatling blaster, abandoning cover and leaving himself exposed. CT-002010 Droid Bait kept on getting shot by droids, hence his nickname, and everyone else just kept on fighting each other instead of moving as a unit and using cover and suppression. Now this becomes such a big problem that after they completely failed their final test, one of their instructors, Master Chief Brick, wants to just fail the entire squad and assign them to sanitation duty. Luckily, the other instructor, LS, sees the unit's hidden potential and gives them one more chance to pass the test. And after some serious soul-searching and facing potential termination, Domino Squad pulls it together. And not only do they pass the test, they break the course record. And to make things even more impressive, the bounty hunter Brick had removed their ascension belts, making scaling the final part of the test, known as the Citadel, much more difficult. Domino Squad's excellent performance and ingenuity gets them immediately deployed on a very important assignment on the moon of Rishi. Rishi Moon was located on the only hyperspace approach to the clones' homeworld of Kamino. Although the base on Rishi Moon was tiny and isolated and seemed like a relatively boring and safe posting, it guarded the Republic's only manufacturing center for more clones. The small listening post there continuously sends an all-clear signal to Kamino and its home fleet. If anything cuts that signal off, Republic forces in the immediate area will know that an attack is imminent. Cerberus space borders the area around Rishi Moon and Kamino, so despite how quiet the sector seems, it was actually a very dangerous location. Now, Echo passes his time on the base by going through Republic Army regulations. He seems to handle the boredom of the situation better than the other clones, who have become antsy because of the lack of combat. Luckily for them, a Separatist droid commando team silently infiltrates their base. Their goal is to kill all the clones inside before they can alert the Republic and make sure the all-clear signal continues running as the Confederacy of Independent Systems sneaks by a massive invasion fleet. Their goal is to destroy Kamino. Now the clones are caught off guard and are forced to retreat out of the station and escape into the mountains nearby. Droid Bait and a few other clones don't make it, including their commanding officer, Sergeant O'Niner. To make matters worse, Captain Rex and Commander Cody are actually on their way to inspect the base, and they don't realize that Separatist commando droids wearing clone armor have taken over the base. Luckily, Echo is smart enough to fire a flare to warn the two clone officers before they are ambushed by the commando droids. Captain Rex and Commander Cody manage to link up with the survivors of Domino Squad. Cutup unfortunately gets eaten by a giant Rishi eel, leaving only Echo, Heavy, and Fives left from their original training group. Together, the clones mount a counterattack and manage to retake the base and blow it up, cutting off the all-clear signal and alerting the Republic. Unfortunately, Heavy has to stay back and manually detonate the explosives, so now Domino Squad is down to just 2. Captain Rex decides to take Echo and Fives into the 501st Legion now that most of their squad is gone, and the 2 are commended by Jedi Generals Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker for their heroism. Because of their bravery, Kamino is now safe. Now, Echo and Fives would travel with the 501st Legion for the next year or so, but we don't really get to see them until the 501st is recalled back to Kamino after Republic forces manage to intercept a Separatist communique. Echo and Fives enjoy finally being able to return home after months of hard fighting. They even run into 99, a maintenance clone who they had befriended during their training, but their reunion is quickly interrupted by a surprise Separatist aquatic invasion. Droids begin pouring into Tipica City from every direction. ARC Trooper Havoc commands the 2 clones to take up a sniper position above one of the buildings. It's an extremely dangerous assignment as they have no real cover and were outnumbered almost 100 to 1. Luckily, the position overlooked the bridge and they were able to bottleneck the enemy advance. 99 actually comes to their assistance by giving them a few grenades, and soon the 3 clones are joined by a group of clone cadets. While these cadets are trained to fire blasters and fight, they're a little bit too young to actually be exposed to combat. And so Fives and Echoes decides to withdraw from their position and go to the armory where they can find better shelter for the cadets. While there, the 2 clones realize that these cadets might actually now have to fight for their lives because they're completely outnumbered. They decide to inspire confidence in their younger brothers, reminding them that they were trained for this job and, more importantly, they were now defending their home. The group of clones are also joined by Captain Rex and Commander Cody. Together, they decide to set up an ambush in the barracks for the droids that were surely heading in their direction. While the older clones backed into one of the corners of the barracks, the smaller clones hid themselves in sleeping tubes that were several feet off the ground. This gave the younger cadets high ground, which of course is extremely important in Star Wars, and also it kept them relatively safe during the ensuing battle. Echo and the other clones managed to hold off the droid attack, but unfortunately 99 is killed in the crossfire. Echo and Fives have once again proved themselves alongside Commander Cody and Captain Rex. After the battle, the 2 clones are promoted to the elite rank of ARC Trooper. This was a huge deal for Echo and Fives. This is basically all they've been dreaming of since they were cadets themselves a few years back when they were still in Domino Squad. After Jedi Master Even Peel is captured by Separatist forces and taken to the dreaded Citadel prison, Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi are chosen to lead a rescue mission to retrieve him. They decide to bring alongside with them a team of clones including Echo, Fives, and Captain Rex. Now, the Citadel wasn't just a normal prison, it was a supermax prison designed specifically to hold Jedi. It was full of dangerous traps, gun turrets, ray shields, and other deadly obstacles, and the entire building was built on top of sulfur pools. The clones immediately take casualties and alert the prison guards before they can even infiltrate the interior of the prison. Echo and Fives manage to survive, and together with the rest of the team, they fight their way towards Even Peel's cell and manage to rescue him. But the way back out of the prison is now twice as heavily guarded, with the entire prison on high alert. Separatist droids are converging on the small rescue team from all directions. The team decides to split into 2, and Echo and Fives follows Anakin Skywalker, who has a plan to use some of the older sections of the prison that the Separatists most likely didn't even know existed. You see, the Citadel had originally been built by the Old Republic, and there were still schematics in the Jedi archives that Anakin had access to. Meanwhile, the second team, led by Obi-Wan Kenobi and Master Peel, try to create a distraction to allow the other team to escape. Both teams eventually converge at the prison's shipyard and attempt to board a shuttle and escape. Unfortunately, this time around, the Separatist droids are waiting and they have the high ground, including a deadly heavy laser turret. Echo, realizing that the Separatists could destroy their only way off planet, decides to try and stop the Separatists from destroying the ship and rushes their shuttle, holding a riot shield in one hand. Fortunately, before he could take out the commando droid behind the turret, it takes out the shuttle behind him and blows him up. The last thing we see of Echo is a scorched helmet lying on the ground. After this deadly explosion, the Republic team decides to disengage and find another way off the planet. This isn't an engagement that they can win. Captain Rex is distraught over having to leave Echo behind. Although that blast did seem deadly, some part of him believes that Echo is still alive, and I guess we'll find out more about that in the 7th season of the Clone Wars. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button down below. As usual, thanks for joining us today. If you're watching this, you are Generation Tech.